Hey, if you're constantly called the monster, you might as well be the monster. Just got done with the 9th episode of To Your Eternity, and this is my thoughts on it. But yeah, this episode opens up with Gugu and Fushi just having way too much fun. Again, the acknowledgement of, hey, if you're going to call me a monster, I might as well be a monster. Running around town and scaring people with their, the gigantic bear form and all that kind of stuff, scaring people around. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Kind of them just, kicking back and having a lot of fun. Of course, Fushi's wondering, are you going to come home at this point? And he's just like, no, I'm good. Booze Man did all that stuff to me, and I really don't want to go back to that whole thing. We're doing fine here. We're having a lot of fun. But yeah, this is when it kind of dives a little bit into, I guess, Gugu's insecurities. We get a really kind of again, if it wasn't enough that we felt bad for Gugu, let's get further into feeling bad for Gugu as we get into his full backstory. And this is kind of a really interesting insight into Gugu himself, because it kind of shows this almost purity, innocence that gets warped a little bit by the circumstances that are around. This idea that he almost has this vision of his childhood having a mother and having a father and having 2 siblings and having, or technically 3 siblings, but and having food on the table, a comfortable bed. And then at some point when his mind starts maturing, he realizes, oh, this was never my family. They were employers. He worked with his brother at this family residence and took care of the family. And he never realized until they left that, oh yeah, they were just employing us. It was just me and my brother all along. And of course, that is even worse in the idea that, eventually his brother leaves him too. But a really, really interesting warped way of kind of seeing his childhood that was never what he thought it was, which is really sad. It's this idea of him having a family and then realizing that family was never family to begin with, which is sad. A good majority of this episode was really centered around Rin coming to meet Gugu and Fushi out in the middle of nowhere, and end up having her trying to, I guess, learn more about him. She's trying to figure out, well, why don't you show me your face? Well, if you won't show me your face, I'll show you my wound. You have a wound, I'll show you my wound. And of course, he makes fun of the fact that this is a little itty bitty scar. And this is when we find out that Rain doesn't realize what happened when they were younger. And this is a part when I read it in the manga, my heart broke really bad, because of all that Gugu has been through is something that technically was never acknowledged. Like, he did something very heroic and it was seen as something bad. And that was that she believes that because she's a part of the family she is, and people hate her father, that she was pushed and she was injured. But in actuality, we know he pushed her to save her life, because he didn't even know it was her, technically. He didn't actually know it was her. He was just protecting somebody, and it ended with him nearly dying and having his face crushed. And again, she acknowledges that somebody hated her. And this is like one of those ones like, tell her, dude, just tell her. Why can't you tell her? Darn anime and not communicating. But yeah, it was a really sweet part of this entire series, or this entire story, because you do have this aspect where she's wanting to learn more about him, learning his struggles, learning what she struggles with, especially what she's struggling with, because this is where we really get an insight that she, even though she is from a noble family, she has everything she wants, she can't have what she wants, which is freedom. Everything she does, they'll hire a teacher, and the teacher gets involved with what she wants to do just for fun. She can't go out alone. She can't buy what she wants to buy. She has to wear green because it's the family color. She doesn't like green. There's all these things that are kind of mixing up to kind of show this restraint that she has. Even though she has everything, she can't have what she wants, which is hard for a lot of people to really kind of be sentimental about. But you do care that she does want something, and that is freedom. And it's fun that, Gugu is at least showing some of that to her. And then we find out eventually that she is being pursued. People are trying to find her. Gugu helps her escape from one of them. Then later on, Fushi helps him escape from the maid. And during this, we also have a perspective of Fushi. We do see that he now he figures out that he can create random object. He creates food. And then eventually, the beholder confronts him and lets him know that, look, are you enjoying being a human? The enemy is waiting to strike. So he's just waiting for an opportunity. And that's at the very end, we do get that moment where, yes, this other unknown being finally strikes again. And so obviously in the next episode, we're going to have to fight that, but get a little brief glimpse of something that I'm excited for in the preview. I am curious. I don't remember Gugu telling Fushi that his chest hurts whenever he sees rain. I'm wondering if this is one of those things where he can kind of sense what people believe, and kind of like what he did with March and Perona. But I am curious. Like I said, I don't remember them mentioning that. I don't know if that's just him sensing something from Gugu because they've been so attached, but that's kind of something interesting. But yeah, besides Gugu's sad backstory, which is kind of tragic, pretty cute episode, mainly because, you know, Rin and his interactions with each other are really kind of getting that bond created between the two of them. But we'll see like I said, I'm really super excited about what's coming up in the next episode because I seen one little brief shot in the preview, but we'll wait until then to talk about that. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but hope you guys enjoyed my brief impressions of episode 10 or episode 9 of To Your Eternity. And if you guys did like this video, please leave a like down below, comment, let me know what you thought of the episode, subscribe if you haven't already, and y'all take care.